Good day out there. Thanks for coming back. Today we are continuing to split this truckload of wood, and I have decided to go ahead and try to separate the truckload so I can stack it, and we'll get a tape measure on it and a good view of it and just see how close to a third of a cord or a rick or whatever you want to call it is when we're done. And I should be able to get a very accurate measurement of what I brought home from the truck, because I know what I got, and I can also look at the past video and see what was already on the ground before I dumped all this on the ground. And like I said, I know what's what, so I'll be able to get it real close, and we'll find out how much this truckload was of all of these random sized rounds, and go through some of these larger rounds like the one I just had my hands on, and find out that they're very difficult coming up shortly. So stay tuned. I believe that was an old rabbit's nest from earlier this year. It's empty now, but I got stuck in it. I think I've decided to start splitting wood back where all the pallets are, and that way it gets it out away from my house, away from my windows and everything, and it won't be making such a big mess all on my patio all the time, since I'm going to be splitting a lot of wood. And it is going to kind of ruin my grass out there, but oh well. My grass kind of has a lot of weeds in it and clover and things out there anyways. But like I said earlier, I'm hoping to get some wood chips delivered soon, and I could possibly start splitting on the wood chips, and then it'll just blend right in. But yeah, I'm going to start taking just a couple loads out there to the end of my yard and getting it out away from my house. And that way it's closer to where I'm going to stack it too. So when I'm done splitting, I can just throw it up on those pallets and be done with it. This piece of wood that I've been using for my chopping block is just not holding up, and I'm going to have to find something else. There's a lot of other pieces out there in the wood yard that I can use, but they're not quite as large as this one as far as like the circumference around. There's some pretty decent sized pieces out there that will work, but that was a really nice large piece. It almost would have made a nice table or something. When I picked it up, I was going to maybe just kind of put some cinder blocks under it or something and use it as a little outdoor table. But it was pretty weak. It had some, I don't know what you would call it, but it had some spots in it where there was like air spaces or gaps, and the wood was separated. So it was kind of brittle, and it was going to break up. It wasn't really the best solid live edge table or anything. And it ended up breaking up just within one or two splitting sessions. So the next time I'm out there, I'm going to find something else, and I'll just have to make room for a big flat piece in my truck. Right here, if you notice that there is more wood on the pallets than in the previous frames in the video, I accidentally, I guess, didn't press record on the camera for a few minutes. So you guys missed a couple logs. They were kind of large, but anyways, there's plenty more where that came from. I got them done. They were some of the larger rounds, and these large rounds have some knots in them, and they're really difficult, so I'm going to have to noodle these things in half here and try to avoid this in the future. But that's why there's more wood on the pallets than there was just a second ago, because I didn't push record on accident. I think this is a hickory round. It's kind of hard to tell because all you have is just a little bit of bark. But I'm beginning to realize that these large hickory rounds are just not splittable with a maul. I mean, they are just not going. So here in a minute, I run out of patience and I just go ahead and use my chainsaw to rip these things in half or quarters because it's just not, I mean, it's just thudding into this and I'm getting stuck and there's knots all over, all around inside them, and it's twisted grain, and they do a really good job of picking out the ones that are twisted grain and knots and throwing them in the dump. But we'll get it taken care of in a minute. Even after taking all of that weight out of these logs, I still can't split this thing in half, like right in the middle. I mean, right in the meat, you just can't do it. So it's basically a game of ripping these things in half and breaking them down to just burnable size. I mean, I'm going to chip off as much as I can off of the corners and around the edges and get them down to where it's a chunk that you can throw in there. There might be some all-nighters, who knows. Right here, I can't believe this thing will not come apart. It's just hanging on by the back edge of the wood and it's completely split. You can see that big crack all the way down it. There's like an inch of twisted grain. It's just sticky wood, and there's knots inside, and it will not let go. I mean, you think if I turn it around backwards now and hit it real hard down that seam that it's stuck on, it would come apart, but it will not move. I am ticked off at this thing. Look at this piece of crap. It will not budge. That seam on the back is just stuck together. So I think I have to take my chainsaw in a minute and just cut it off. So yeah, I'm letting this play in its entirety just because, I don't know, maybe somebody will find this amusing or entertaining. But I sure am frustrated with it, and I am done messing with those kind of rounds if possible. I'm sure I'll bring home some more large rounds, but the hickory is not splitting well, so those may be a no-go, and you just kind of got to develop an eye for things that are straight grain with no problems. So I hope you guys are finding this entertaining, watching me try to deal with this. I could speed it up, but like I said, it's kind of interesting just to see how difficult it is. And I'm doing this for exercise, And I just can't imagine that this isn't giving me good cardio. I mean, I'm trying to keep the pace up and, you know, keep my heart rate up and sweat and, you know, don't slow down and everything. So, I mean, if I try to purposely keep the pace up and I can feel that I'm getting winded and my heart rate's up, it's got to be working, I would imagine. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know. But that's my thoughts, anyways. So I'm going to keep doing this and see how it goes. I've decided that that chopping block is pretty much done, and I'm just going to burn it. It's already in like 5 or 6 pieces, so I just kind of broke it up into some smaller pieces, and I'll just have to split wood in the grass or on those rubber horse stall mats going forward until I find something else that I can use as a chopping block anyways. While I'm already out and dirty and sweaty and the chainsaw's out, I go ahead and bring a couple more of these large rounds out here and rip them in half. That one right there is so heavy, I mean, I don't know how I even got that in the truck. It is heavy. So I break these into quarters, and that will be in the next video, splitting these with them all and getting them done. Okay, so those rounds are sitting out there waiting for me to split in my next video, and I'm just going to get cleaned up here, and this will be the end of today's video. And I throw this stuff back there in my backyard because there's going to be mulch there anyways, so this is just a start on the mulch and it's covering up the mud. Have a nice day. I hope you find this interesting, and thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe to follow my wood splitting fitness journey.